Hey folks, we're 11 months away from the next election, which is a big one. But I was just mailed this by Senate Majority Leader Bob Duff. And the lies and deceit that come out of his mouth are astounding. I'm not just going to prove what he said, how he said it. I'm going to have to show you, because obviously you guys are the doubting Thomases of the world. If you look at his energy legislation over the years, and you hear his speeches,
this is a comprehensive
which I'll turn on. I'll show you.
Lead to cleaner air, cleaner water, and an expansion of renewable energy assets in the state of Connecticut.
Okay, cleaner air, renewable energy, and natural gas is the answer. I agree. That's what he said, what? In 2013, 7 years ago. Now natural gas is thrown under the bus. I have all the transmission data that you could possibly watch, incentives for programs, all types of credits, all types of articles. There's hundreds of articles, folks. There's hundreds of videos that you need to watch. Why? Because when you listen to Bob Duff, he's a spin doctor, folks. Here we go. Let's look at just what we found last night. All these articles. Okay? No dogs allowed at Oyster Shell Park. Well, he's saying these places are clean. They are not. Let me try to destroy some of this stuff. A minute. Here we go. Look. A minute with Bob Duff. Ready? 6 views. Look how old this video is. 6 views. That means Connecticut doesn't...
Today I want to talk about crime. And how that has fallen here in the state of Connecticut. Connecticut was only one of 2 states in the nation last year to have a drop in overall violent crime. That is really good news for us, and it really speaks to the issues that we have tackled in the legislature.
Excuse me. He's tackled nothing in the legislature. Violent crime is up 30%. The courts are closed. He closed 3 prisons by himself. He opened 2 prisons in Norwalk that are halfway houses, prison release, and he took bribes from Robinson and Cole to do it. So when you actually get the facts and you read this document, you say to yourself, safer, crack down on human trafficking? My ass he did. My ass he did. Look at Waterbury, trafficking women out of the Apple Hotel. Women are being tortured and drugged there. And guess what? From 2006 to 2016, 400 human traffickers in Connecticut were arrested and 0 prosecutions. Bob Duff is the biggest liar. Everything he says in this handout, in this mailer, is false. Expanded risk protection. Closing loopholes for firearms. Excuse me? I could buy a firearm by calling a number, putting $300 in my firewood pile, and have a gun there in 1/2 hour, because they're taking the guns from legal citizens with open borders, with fentanyl coming in, paying illegals to come to the Westchester County Airport to take a free bus to Norwalk to go to school. These 15, 16, and 17-year-olds don't speak English. So what did he do? He set up a program to fund English language learners and increase the budget by 25%. Hi, why don't you invite everyone from Guatemala to Connecticut? That's what he's doing. Why? Because he wants your vote. Okay. Meanwhile, have you been to the Norwalk Community Health Center? There are hundreds of pregnant women, Spanish speaking. I'm not a racist. My two sons are one-quarter Spanish, folks. So don't even accuse me. I'll tell you what's racist. Racist is funding Planned Parenthood, because I'll tell you why. The black community is 17% of the population. If you canceled all their abortions that they had over the past 20 years, they'd be 30% of the population. If they had one child each, they'd be 60% of the American population. So funding Planned Parenthood is part of the problem. Look at Act Blue. Look at the Wisconsin murderer who drove through the parade, killed 6, and injured 50 people. He injured the dancing grannies, folks, who were marching in a parade. Yeah, 75-year-old ladies who love to dance. What happened? Lies were told by the media. The gun was self-defense. The murderer, was Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, if you follow the links, funds Act Blue. Act Blue. Who funds my opponent, Richard Blumenthal. But what I expect I can show you now is Bob Duff is cleaning up his historical news record. I can show you. I just showed you a minute with Bob Duff talking about crime being down. Okay, let's get rid of that. I can show you press releases, major energy legislation, all in this document. State funding for Norwalk increase. Why would anyone from Darien, Connecticut, which is in his district, vote for him? Do you know what he's done to Darien? Have you figured it out? Well, the moms there, the soccer moms, haven't. They don't care, and they're about to care. Well, let me tell you. Here we go. Passing early voting measures. Voter fraud. Yeah, and I can prove it because I have the file. There are votes in Norwalk, and 3,900 votes from Stanford in the 2020 election were switched from Donald Trump to Biden. That's a fact, folks. It's not conjecture, and it's certainly not conspiracy theory. Look at Pima County, Arizona. Look at Maricopa County. Look at Cook County. Look at Nassau County in New York. Look at all these places with 192,000 falsified votes in it. This guy controls that. He's the Senate Majority Leader. I was recently told that Lamont was arrested, I think in June, and he had to sign a document agreeing that he knew the ballots in Connecticut were falsified. If that turns out to be true, and I'm working on it, why isn't he under arrest? Did you see what happened this week? Let's talk about what happened this week. Lamont weaponized the state police. Yes, he did. He arrested Jonathan Wright for claiming that Lamont committed treason. And he said what the penalty for treason was. He didn't threaten to kill anybody. But what happened was he pled guilty to the charges so he could nollie the complaint down to an offense where he didn't have to do hard time. Excuse me? That's extortion. That's weaponizing the court. They had no probable cause. No, I saw the statements. I have his picture. I'm going to put it on as the lead of this post I'm about to do. In the process of doing. Legalized adult cannabis. Okay, that's what Bob Duff did. Now kids are going to try it. Oh, it's legal now. Yeah, laced with fentanyl coming in over an open border. There are problems here that Bob Duff is taking credit for, and out lies. Every statement he made restoring voter rights to people on parole, automatic voter registration through many state agencies. Folks, they're getting a falsified driver's license. Okay? Then they get a falsified voter card. And then, what happens? I'll tell you. the 5 most vaccinated states for COVID. Have you looked at the numbers lately? The breakthrough cases outnumber the unvaccinated cases. Why? Because the vaccination was short term. Now they're going to change the definition of fully vaccinated and force younger and younger people who don't need the vaccination because they have a healthy immune system, and the high-risk patients are all getting the vaccination, which is absolutely insane, okay? Strengthen health care, ended false advertising of crisis pregnancy centers so women can take important reproductive and health care decisions. That's murder, folks. Here we go. Is he a Christian? Declared racism a public health issue. No, Bob. Bob says every Trump supporters are racist. Tell that to my mother's face. Please do it, okay? My mother is not a racist. For 25 years, she dedicated her life to digging water wells in Africa. Okay, folks? My mom had a charity digging wells in Africa, Uganda specifically, for the Bishop of Tororo. And Bob Duff is calling my deceased mother a racist. Now, who's making the blanket statements? Bob Duff. Everything comes back to Bob Duff. Leading in the environment. Everything he said here is false. Okay? Have you looked at the environmental PFAS spill? Okay. PFAS is in Michigan. It's in New Jersey. There's a map across the United States on the Lincoln Registry. Okay? Dave Lincoln has a registry of PFAS. It shows a dot on Groton, Connecticut. Okay? It shows 1,000 dots on Michigan. It shows 1,000 dots on New Jersey that make PFAS, that dumped PFAS. Okay? So he's saying he's protecting you from PFAS? He's never been on the Lincoln Registry. There's only one person in Connecticut on the Lincoln Registry. And that's me. He doesn't know where PFAS is. He's claiming that he's protecting you because of the plastic bottle legislation. Are you joking me? He already killed all the lobsters. He's now killed the oysters. The guy's been dumping hazardous waste off Norwalk's Harbor since he got here. It's a crime to mislead people. Look at Manresa, the largest coal ash dump in the United States. Radioactive material off the Norwalk oyster beds. Look at the Walk Bridge project, about to contaminate Norwalk's oysters to oblivion. Look at Veterans Park. They dredged there. The soil was so contaminated no state would take it, and the state decided to put the contaminated soil back in the Norwalk River. He's issuing permits for people to dump in the Norwalk River, including King Industries, who got a PPP loan. If you look at the companies that Bob Duff, look here, see Duff Leone announces $500,000 grant for New Darien Biosciences Company? Okay, click on that. What happens? Hi, page not found. We're sorry, it's missing. That company doesn't exist, folks. The company that Bob Duff gave $500,000 to does not exist. Look at the money he's giving to Stepping Stones, a great organization. My son volunteered there, my youngest son, for 5 years. Fantastic. It's a private corporation for profit. He's giving money, claiming it's helping Norwalk, to businesses like the talc company that used the PPP loan to pay cancer claims. It employs thousands of people, and the talc product causes cancer, folks. Why are state funds going towards paying cancer claims for the Norwalk Talc Company? Why did King Industries get a $5 million PPP loan? King Industries is in South Norwalk. It is a HFA producer. It imports chemicals that are virgin and creates products that it sells, which are, we don't know what they make. They don't disclose it. They've got a security force. They've had 2 accidents there. It's potentially hazardous to the 3,500 inhabitants of Norwalk that live within the kill zone of 1 mile. It's next to the mall. They can't evacuate if they have a problem. Did you look at the windsocks at King Industries? I know it sounds like I'm going on tangents, but let me tell you this. I've asked King Industries for a list of the chemicals they sell 5 times. I've been there personally. I was chased off the property, folks. Look at the other concerns in Norwalk. There's too many to count. And guess who's in charge? The guy taking bribes from Robinson and Cole. Look at Halloran and Sage. Do you understand what Halloran and Sage is? Let's talk about that. Biff Halloran was a made man in the Gambino crime family. He was arrested for price-fixing cement in Manhattan. He ran the 2 largest cement mixing concerns. He disappeared, folks. Okay? What does Halloran and Sage do? They're a lobby group in Connecticut that controls everything. So if you don't know who Halloran and Sage and Robinson and Cole is, you realize Bob Duff put prisons on Bartlett and Quintard. But if you look at the registry, they're not registered on the websites of in-house, in-state rehab centers. There's a problem because it's prison release, folks. And look at the evidence. Look at the case law. Look at the applications for fee waivers that these judges deny. We just gave this to Lori Hopkins Kavanaugh for a case she's working on. That's a big case. I wanted to mention that Jonathan Wright was just arrested by Medlamont this week. It's a civil rights violation. So, the governor has weaponized the state police. Now, what happened this week in court with Ethan Book? The Marshal Service was weaponized by Judge Gennario and Judge Crumrich and Judge Kavanowski. Yes, it was. Why? Because we have a right to hearings, folks. We have right to fee waivers. I have filed 100 of these that were denied. No hearing. No hearing. No Zoom call. No nothing. So the court is closed. That's what Bob Duff did. Okay? Legislators closed the court. He lies about crime being down. Yeah. Because the courts are closed, no one's being processed. He's closing the prisons due to COVID, and he's releasing all the convicts. Well, those convicts are getting out and committing more murders. That's why the murder rate is up. So Bob Duff is the biggest murdering liar on the planet Earth. And I'm afraid he's grooming his background to make a run for either Hymes's seat or Blumenthal's seat. So anyone who votes for Bob Duff must be brain dead to believe the Norwalk Hour, the Day, and the Hartford Courant. Let's read what the Norwalk Hour said. Major new investments in municipal. Really? That's due to the Build Back bankrupt plan. That's borrowing more money on my son's future to pay for the walk bridge, pay for all types of things. So here we go. Norwalk sends millions to Hartford and gets pennies back on the dollar. Yeah, that's bad business, Bob. Look at the American Rescue Plan. Funding Planned Parenthood, funding all types of things which are bad. And of course, he supports H.R. 1, the Voters Fraud Act, which is same-day registration, no voter ID. There are videos of Bob Duff that you need to watch. There are hundreds of them. Actually, let's put one on. Let's Google it in front of you. since you just don't understand what I'm talking about, here we go. Ready? YouTube. Bob Duff. Norwalk. Humor me and watch the videos of angry taxpayer. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Let me just check. Yes, you are seeing what I'm seeing. Go down this list, folks. It's important. Go to number 10. Oh, that's not it. Well, it's a different list than the last time I searched. At Senator Duff. You know, we're supposed to applaud him for the money he gets for Norwalk, which is pennies on the dollar. Yesterday when I went here, it showed different videos. 97 videos. Wow, that's no views, folks. Here we go. This is more like it. These are great videos to watch. Here's one from me. 463 views. He does a video, 105. She does a video, 38. Why don't you watch this video, folks?
That stuff that deals with the guys screwing up. The criminal stuff still goes to the detective bureau.
Watch this video, folks. Follow it.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt. Okay?
This is me.
No doubt. I was friends with Thomas Cummings from high school. From high school. What did you learn since then?
He was I only worked for him for a very short period of time.
Okay.
And never tried to work with him again after I saw how he was.
Exactly. Need I say more? Because there's 7 kids involved in that one, not 4.
I would imagine there is.
Yeah.
Did you
I
hear
believe
that?
you. So,
Pedophile Thomas Cummings on the Norwalk Police Department payroll, and we're paying his pension. That's Internal Affairs agreeing that Thomas Cummings had sex with 7 boys, not 4 boys. And guess what? He was never indicted. Why? Because Makosi screwed the pooch for Richard Colangelo, who screwed up the case. Who's our chief state's attorney? Taking bribes. Hello? Duff knows. Duff asked for Kahalik's resignation. Kahalik is the chief of police. He's on the board of Firetree. And Bob Duff took bribes to put Kahalik on the board of Firetree. Put Eloisa Melendez on the board of Firetree. Listen to me. The DSCC treasurer is taking bribes from McClutchy for the POCO deal. Okay? Do you know the POCO deal? That's a Bob Duff deal. He gave $5 million of state funds to POCO to put in the elevators. Okay? That was never done. Where's the money? Where's the equipment? Never installed. $5 million missing that Bob Duff gave. Look at the biotechnology company we found on his website. No record of it can be found. I looked everywhere. The links have been removed from Bob Duff's site after paying a bribe, folks. What was the kickback? Robinson and Cole and Harlan and Sage and others took care of that. Look at Vesta. That's a Bob Duff project. I'm told he's on the board. And the owner, Arthur Greenblatt, is claiming that he bought politicians and judges. For God's sakes. What else do you need to know? There's so much bribery here going through this state senator. Look at net neutrality. Look at 5G. Look at 5G. 17 bribes. 5G, folks. It's cooking your kids in kindergarten. Yeah. 9 nanowatts of 5G makes you infertile. 10 nanowatts of 5G change your DNA. 12 nanowatts of 5G causes cancer. You know what the limit? As I said, 10 nanowatts is illegal in Poland, Russia, and in Italy. No 5G wireless is allowed in kindergarten because their craniums are too thin. Listen to my next comment. What did Bob Duff set the limit if 10 causes cancer in Connecticut? Does anybody know? What is the limit for 5G in Connecticut if 10 fries your testicles? Here's the answer. Bob Duff set it at 600. 600. Bob Duff lied a month ago. He said the birds were dying due to bad bird seed. No, the Blue Jays are dying because of 5G. Is it in his mailer? All rosy and nice? Pat me on the back for this. Pat me on the back for that. Oh my God. Insured laid-off workers are hired rather than passed over for lower-priced workers. That's not happening, folks. That type of legislation will never prevent someone from hiring a day labor at the bridge, which is fine. I can feel that everyone is suffering from COVID. But let me tell you, the legislation that he is signing is horrendous for Connecticut. It's socialism for Connecticut. And it's borrowing money to pay bribes to the SIEU and everyone who backs his legislation so that he can collect more bribes. It's a bribery pay-for-play machine. I'm at 27 minutes. I realize that you watched, 461 of you watched that Bob Duff video I showed about him asking for the Kaholic resignation. Kaholic should be in jail for racketeering. Yeah. For aiding and abetting a criminal check fraud problem. Wire fraud, subordinated loan fraud, securities fraud, accounting fraud, and worst of all, letting commissioners of the court cash stolen checks, lawyers cashing stolen checks, claiming to be Norwalk residents' attorneys. In other words, checks are being stolen and cashed. So commissioners of the Superior Court of Stamford, Connecticut can claim to be your attorney when you don't know them, and then they steal your house. Then they loot your bank accounts and steal your stocks and bonds. Then, look at Bernie Madoff. Yeah, look at Bernie Madoff. He made sure Connecticut hedge funds never got prosecuted because of his relationship with Jim Himes. Yes, with Jim Himes. FISA oversight, complaining about Comey. Excuse me. Jim Himes has oversight of the NSA, the CIA, illegally surveilling you, the internet, many different things, including the FISA court, where warrants were falsified on a sitting president. Like him or not like him, there's no comparison between a Biden-Brandon administration, let's go Brandon, and a Trump administration. No comparison, okay? So either get behind the Flynn 2022 push for a Connecticut Senate seat or get out of my way. Thank you very much. And you know who I'm talking about. Yes, you do. Have a great day. I'm at 30 minutes. I hope 461 people watch this. It's about the Senate Majority Leader, his communist propaganda. What did the day say? It's a budget that should help, not hinder our recovery. It's money used for bribes that our children have to pay back. Because it's a slush fund, folks. Look at the toll money. Look at the gas tax never used to fix our roads. You know what you have to do? You have to make him accountable. How do you do that? Well, if he's taking bribes and he's not recording it as income, that's how they got Al Capone. Yeah. Bravo. Have a great day. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Oh, we went to the Bridgeport thing last night where they handed out, they're all sworn on in all the new elected officials. Will Haskell was in the audience. Matt Ritter was in the audience. Matt Ritter's mom is the judge. His dad is the lobbyist for vaccines. And Matt Ritter is, of course, forcing vaccines down your throat and taking away your parental rights. So, it's that clear. And he's getting away with it. I think someday they'll prove that this vaccine is actually a biological weapon. That's my opinion. Have a great day.